That was right there.
UC San Diego's Larry Smarr is the kind of guy who wears a Fitbit, monitors his sleep, and has had his DNA sequenced. But he takes the whole self-tracking thing farther than most. For instance, he's showing me a 3D printed model of part of his colon, the part cut out in a recent surgery.
Just this amount of my body was out of control. And to be able to actually hold it was very empowering.
Smarr has inflammatory bowel disease. He's had his internal organs mapped using 3D imaging, and he's happy to show them to you in virtual reality.
So actually, for 4 years, I've been giving tours of the insides of my body to hundreds of people.
Yeah, let me just first set it up.
In a dark room at Cal IT2, the UCSD Institute Smarr leads, a computer scientist is pulling up the 3D map of Smarr's colon. They call this room the Virtual Reality Cave. We're surrounded by black walls, and projected onto them is a huge floating image of Smarr's insides.
And so this is my entire colon.
Smarr recently brought his surgeon into the cave to show her the bunched up section causing trouble. He wanted her to see exactly what she'd have to cut out before the operation.
The surgeon could see she was going to cut it here, and then she was going to cut it here.
Leading up to his surgery, Smarr was bothered by the thought that this kind of imaging, which has been possible for years, is not already used in the operating room. His surgeon, Sonia Ramamurthy of UC San Diego Health, felt the same way.
I have teenage boys, and I look at their video games, and it just kills me every time to think, how is it that we have such great gaming graphics and technology, and none of that's been applied to surgery and simulation yet?
Smarr proposed an idea. Why not incorporate this 3D map into his surgery? Ramamurthy says this is not the typical approach, but she was all for it.
He was able to sort of help me visualize more and put me through a kind of a simulation of what it would be like to operate on him before I operated on him.
Ramamurthy says surgeons are already good at performing successful colon resections, but they do encounter unique challenges with each patient, challenges they'd be better off knowing about before the patient goes under. 3D imaging is already used in some other types of surgery, but Ramamurthy thinks bowel operations could be improved by a kind of GPS for surgery. She says it could be like drivers using Google Maps to find the best route through an unfamiliar area.
It's the same kind of information I need before I go into the operating room to operate on someone. I mean, the stakes are high in the operating room.
Ramamurthy had the 3D map of Smarr's colon on display throughout the surgery. She even drafted UCSD computer scientist Jürgen Schultz into the operating room. He's the one who created the 3D map by painstakingly layering 2D MRI images one on top of another. Schultz has no formal training to assist in surgeries, but he was there to help surgeons refer to this 3D map during the operation.
Going into that surgery, I was definitely a nervous wreck. Not only was it an actual surgery on a human, but it was also a surgery on a human that I've worked with for, a good 10 years.
But it all worked out fine. And now Ramamurthy wants to use 3D imaging with more of her patients in the hopes of standardizing this approach.
I think that's going to be something that we start here at UCSD that's just going to profoundly shift what we do worldwide in surgery.
A few months after the surgery, Larry Smarr continues to recover well. Some patients might have been freaked out by the idea of tinkering with a tried-and-true approach to surgery. But Smarr says turning himself into a guinea pig actually reduced his anxiety.
As a patient, your fundamental enemy is the unknown. That's what drives anxiety. That's what drives fear. And as a patient, I was learning and helping form the game plan for what was going to be done to my body. That reduced all kinds of uncertainty.
Smarr likes to say his job is to live in the future and report back. If this is the future of surgery, he says it's a future where patients will feel more in control of their health care, even when they're under anesthesia. David Wagner, KPBS News.